Welcome to another episode of Ruff Talk VR, a weekly podcast with in-depth game reviews, exclusive developer interviews, and the latest MetaQuest and virtual reality news. We join our hosts, the father-son team of D. Scruffles and Stratus today, as they spend another episode breaking down and discussing the world of virtual reality.
Hey, welcome to this episode of Ruff Talk VR, coming at you with an interview during the Ruff-A-Thon, although this one is pre-recorded in full disclaimer. This is what I would call...
We were open leading in. 100%.
Yes, this is our, what I would call donor kebab hour. We got to eat and stuff too, so... And if I'm not mistaken, during the telethons back in the day, they used to like play a movie. They always did a little bit of pre-recorded content. You know, people need to breathe and stuff. So, but there's no better studio to do this with than I think Schell Games, a great studio, one of our favorites actually. I mean, I Expect You to Die, one of our favorite series in VR.
Get me started with that.
Yeah, we'll spend 30 minutes on that.
We'll have a problem real quick with the Schell team.
But they just dropped in early access their newest project called, as it's a project Freefall, which we just had the privilege of going in and playing with some of the developers a moment ago.
Was that playing or getting toyed with? I feel more like toyed with.
You know, I feel like we could have gotten beaten even worse too. Yeah. You know, I'm just saying. So
it's how fun though.
Oh my goodness, so fun, free to play right now. So if you haven't yet checked it out, definitely go check out Project Freefall. And you know, you would have just seen it on the stream a moment ago as well too. Our absolute butt handing to us. But today we're joined with two of the developers, Addie McFadden, who's a senior designer over at Fadden. Thank you for being the correct pronunciation. Senior designer over at Schell Games, and then also Kelsey Rudy, who's one of the senior engineers over there as well too. So do you two mind to do a quick little introduction of yourself? Obviously a bit better than I can.
Sure, I could go first. Hi, I'm Addie McFadden. I am a senior designer at Schell Games. I've been at the studio for over 6 years now, and I've worked on a wide variety of projects, including Silent Slayer, which we see represented over here. Working on Project Freefall right now, and it's been fun.
And hey, I'm Kelsey. I'm an engineer. I've been here for about 3 years now. I also had the pleasure of working on Silent Slayer, which was fun. Did some other kind of VR games for Schell Games. I've been in and out on Project Freefall for a while throughout its development. And so it's been fun to finally get to see it get published in real life.
I mean, it's been fun to say the least.
We totally different direction than I thought I would see next.
Mm-hmm.
Had me instantly intrigued. And not firsthand, and we played it last night. We played it today. I'll say we played it today.
Mm-hmm.
People can see it, especially me scrounging for stuff like money for no real reason other than I want the money and I want to buy stuff. But it's fun. It's very competitive, though.
Yeah, you kept going for the money instead of stealing the parachute off of me. I was like, wow, man, he's going with the long-term vision.
And I want money,
you know. But you get 100. You get 100 extra money for getting the parachute. But
sure do.
You can also get a couple hundred floating around there. But yeah, this game, something I give Schell Games a lot of credit for is none of their games are really the same. Like I Expect You to Die is so much different than Silent Slayer, is so much different than Until You Fall, which I'm proud of myself for not saying after you fall, because I always accidentally
You're braver
do that.
than me.
Yeah. But all the titles are always so different. And Project Freefall is a great example of you all taking chances and going to a different genre. So how did the idea for a game like Project Freefall even come to be, which in case anyone missed the stream moments ago, it's a multiplayer game, 4 players minimum.
You jump out of a plane, man.
You jump out of a plane and it's last one to hold the parachute, hot potato style. Is
ironically, as you point out a lot when we play it, it's the only parachute.
Mm-hmm.
So at least as far as I see it.
Yeah, and it's not exactly how long you've held it. It's about being the last one. So yeah, how did a game like this come to be?
Yeah, I know Kelsey and I, neither of us were involved with the original conception of the game, but I know it originally was going to be a Horizon Worlds game, or that was the original idea, just to have this tag game that was skydiving, and the spirit of the game has been the same since the start. And as the team kept thinking about it and working on it, we realized, hey, this could actually be a standalone thing that we want to work on our own. And it's also just turned into a whole project where we're just trying all kinds of new things too.
Well,
So
You know.
I want to know who the skydiver is on the team that chose free falling.
I was joking. I never want to be in this situation in real life, you know. Yeah, was there somebody on the team that you know of that I guess came up with the idea for jumping out of a plane? Or I know you all said
Or
that.
maybe couldn't, and this is the alternative.
There were a couple of engineers, I believe, at the studio who I don't even know if they had the opportunity to work on the project yet, but they had the idea of skydiving and there being only one parachute, and that was kind of the shtick, and that was kind of the platform that it jumped off of. No pun intended. But yeah, then that was the original idea, and then we just kind of kept adding layers onto it. We started just like with the first experience of just a single player jumping through, seeing if we could get it right to see like with all of the objects flying through and all that kind of stuff, and then we added multiplayer on top of that, and this was all starting in VR. And then another layer of the project was adding that cross-platform functionality in, so that it also works in Steam and Epic Games Store. So yeah, it's gone through some iterations now, but yeah, it was kind of like Addie said. The spirit of the project was always kind of that skydiving for that one parachute since the beginning.
Well, I love the crossplay element of it. And I'm talking crossplay.
Just more to play.
Yeah, I'm not even crossplay amongst headsets. I'm saying flat screen to VR. That's such a good concept. We all have friends that don't have VR headsets. Maybe you try to sell them on VR. And a lot of times when you're playing with VR players, it'll be like, hey, how are you doing the wave? Or, like, there's always maneuvers and actions you can do in VR that you can't. I think one of you were even saying it's like easier to use the bat in VR while we were playing because, you can swing behind you. So on one side, it's a good way to sell people to VR. And in another way, it's just really good for accessibility with playing your friends. So I imagine it's not an easy thing. What were some of those challenges in getting a VR game to work flat screen as well in the same time at the same server?
Yeah, I mean, there's everything. From a technical perspective, just going all the way back down to the bare bones of the core of the game, being able to have that what we call the third person character. You're actually seeing the person flying around versus like actually being the character in VR, and so that it's basically another whole game at that point, and then it all has to work together somehow. So yeah, there was quite a big effort to reconcile all those differences from the technical perspective, and then I don't know, Addie, if you want to talk more about the design perspective from that.
Yeah. From the design perspective, its biggest challenge is making sure it's fun in both platforms as well. What might be fun for a VR player might be a different experience for a PC player, but still making sure it's fun for both. Even if it is slightly different for both. So always having that lens of like, how is this going to play as a VR player? How is this going to play as a PC player? And always having that in mind when making new designs.
It's one of the rare cases where I actually want to play it on flat screen while you're in VR just to see what the difference is like, which normally I would probably be like, I know I'm going to love it in VR more, but to find a balance to keep both parties happy is pretty intriguing.
And how about balancing like fairness of gameplay? I imagine this is just my assumption. It's probably a challenge to make it
get some hard liberties in VR.
Yeah. How do you make it so it's not like, oh, you have an advantage if you play in VR or you have an advantage if you play flat screen?
Yeah, there is actually an interesting kind of problem we had where in VR, you have two individual thrusters on each of your hands, but in flat, it's only effectively one. And so for a while, we kind of had a bug where if a VR player was using both their thrusters at the same time, they'd be going twice as fast in a way. And so we had to kind of like reconcile that difference then, such that the VR max speed is always the same, regardless of if you're using one thruster or two thrusters, because you could use two at the same time. And yeah, and so that ultimately matches the flat as well. So that was like a very specific example, but it's like that those kinds of things definitely came up that we had to figure out.
Not to mention, there's more than going on than just thrusting around and trying to like jack the parachute from who has it. You got bats, you've got grenades. I saw like the fire extinguishers for a boost, the splat ones, which are friggin' awesome.
And I splatted myself so many times.
And dude, the grappling hook to make that all work, I give a lot of credit. It's free to play and it ran real smooth for so much going on. Didn't really expect that.
And we just got to play technically during the earliest of early access launch, but you all just had the demo right before as well. Did you get a gauge of, what the reception was like from the community with people hopping in? We played with some randoms last night. So, I mean, our lobby filled up pretty quickly. So it seems like people were hopping in there and having a good time. But yeah, have you heard some of the community reception?
Yeah, for sure. I think generally the community has been receiving it pretty positively. I've gotten a chance to hop in and play games with people in the community as well. And it's really cool to see people already developing their strategies and just having a lot of fun. And we're always open to feedback from the community as well. That's a big part of this project, is kind of listening to them and having that rapport with the community. So I think people have been excited about that aspect too. Being able to actually talk to the developers and have that relationship. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and yeah, generally people seem to be having a lot of fun with it.
Makes sense. And continuing on the earliest of access title to it, what are some of the changes, or what are the things that you all want to see come to the game, if you're able to even fully lay it out now, between now and full launch? Or is that something that's kind of in the community's hands and it depends on feedback and stuff like that?
Yeah, I guess a little bit of both. We as developers, we have a huge list of things that we would love to continue improving upon, while also keeping an eye on things that the community is excited about. Something that I'm focusing on is new content. So a lot of things like obstacles, divers, items. Those are the things that I'm really looking at the community to see what they're really excited about. And I can pass it over to Kelsey too, but Kelsey is also working on a lot of like the more systemic kind of things.
Yeah, we're going to have some kind of back-end work going on, just to kind of build up our systems a little more, ultimately with the goal of being more flexible, so that we can handle, like Addie said, more obstacles and things. And, we have some dreams of in-game customization, like being able to choose different obstacles that you want, or being able to even suggest new obstacles and stuff that will eventually be in the game. And so there's just, some back-end systems to kind of support that effort as well. But yeah, we're kind of like, we have, our kind of immediate goals now of, introducing some new content, and then some bigger goals of, can we make a new level, so it's not just the same island that we're falling to every time and stuff like that. So we have got a lot of ideas floating around here, but then also excited to hear what the community wants to see as well.
Oh, I think there'll be no shortage of ideas coming from the community, because I mean, it is fun, and we played it just a couple of times, and we've already been like last night I was like, it'd be cool if you could rappel onto like one of the players and pull yourself right to them,
or pull them away even.
But there's a lot going on.
Think of it, team. I have so many ideas with a game like this. Right? The last thing you ever want to let me do is into a meeting with you all to talk ideas. You're gonna be like,
time at all.
Shut this kid up. It's like, I could see things like team matches. I could see things like,
thought that.
How about an imposter parachute? So there's one real parachute, one fake one. You lose the fake one. You grab the fake one. It's a DQ or something like that. I don't know, something that knocks you out, or
Imagine feeling that confident that you had the right one.
Yeah, Yeah, dude, there's so many
People still gonna chase you.
customizable fall times in a room, a 1 minute fall time, a 5 minute fall time, a 10-minute fall time, So, and then don't even get me started on all the different item possibilities. So I feel like a game like this has a really high ceiling.
Oh, it's limitless.
I love the idea of launching it for free and in early access. I imagine it'll stay free to play the whole time, but I mean, with in-game cosmetics and stuff like that, maybe private lobbies is a paid thing, or a season pass, or things like battle passes and stuff. I could totally see with a game like this. So yeah, the last thing you ever want to let me do is in a meeting with you all, I'll take up the whole time. But I imagine a lot of the community reception has come with, everyone's probably got their own ideas and stuff like that.
But it's all based around the fact that everyone's having fun. And they just want to add something to it. So yeah, I think there'll be tons of, hey, you know what you should do?
Like, yeah, no, we never thought of that. Yeah. So this is kind of a silly question. A lot of our listeners do like to get into the weeds of things, though. And I understand sometimes, you get asked to like describe your job, and it's like asking you what your favorite thing is. It's like, you can think of how to answer on any time except when somebody puts you on the spot asking it.
And go.
Yeah. But just for our listeners that are interested in this type of stuff, but they don't really know what the different positions in game development are, can you tell us a little bit about like what a senior designer does, as well as like what a senior engineer does, and also how those teams might even work together?
Yeah. Do you want to go for it, Kelsey?
Sure. Yeah. So yeah, as a senior engineer on the team, we also have our technical director, who is our, I guess, senior most engineer on the team. And so he kind of is the one that is leading the whole engineering team in the charge. And so then I then get assigned stuff, and then I kind of run with them. And by stuff, I mean, any sort of like bigger features and helping it do like the technical side of some of the obstacle work. And kind of one of my main things that I work on is what we call the level authoring system, which is just managing all of the random objects that you see flying up. And so I have control of that whole system on that, and iterate on that as new requests come in. And then also interface with Addie then when she is making some requests of like, oh, this would be cool if we could have a higher weight for certain objects, closer to the top of the play space versus the bottom. And so then I put that in as an option to figure out how we can implement that kind of thing. And so then I I'm not coding in a silo. I am definitely working with Addie and the other designers for what is useful for them, what do they want to see, what kinds of things they want to be able to tweak as we're making things. So that is, a very quick summary of what my day-to-day looks like.
Yeah, and for me, being a designer on the team, similarly to Kelsey, there is a design director on the team who he is also the one who assigns my tasks each day or each sprint. Usually, we'll typically plan out 2-week chunks of what we are going to be doing, and planning around that. And so a lot of the things that I have focused on have been like actual designs of the obstacles most recently, thinking about new obstacles, interactions, what we can do reasonably with those new interactions. And I'm also in engine, kind of getting some basic stuff up and running, and even understanding how other people have set up a logic and how I can apply it in other places. I also did level design on the project. I designed the practice lobby, where you start and you're waiting for other people to join in between games. So that was a lot of fun. That was in collaboration with one of the artists on our team, so that I set up kind of the layout and he arted it up and made it look really cool. And it's also a very highly collaborative position where I'll work with Kelsey one day or I'll work with an artist another day, and we're all trying to figure out like how to actually make these things work and propelling that forward. But yeah, there's the job can really change per project too. So that's kind of a high level of what I'm doing for this one in particular.
Seems to be a common theme in the tech world. You're good at one thing. You're probably going to do that too.
Yep. Sometimes you got to be careful with like showing other skills. Now,
hey, you know what I can figure out? It's like, yeah, you can do that too.
Yeah.
Many hats.
And credit to the lobby area. I mean, look, I'll be honest with you.
Lobby's pretty fun, dude.
The controls screens popped up in the beginning. Typical VR gamer. I went, screen, next, completely skipped through the controls. And I think within 10 seconds of being in the lobby, I had it figured out of like, here's how you fly. Felt super natural,
right? With
like which way to go.
I got ultra confident by flying around the lobby.
Mm-hmm.
Like first time I ever went in, because I was just like, oh, I'm going to do so good at this. Because I kept going through the obstacles. No concept of really what's going to happen when
haven't
when
even
we
played
play.
The game yet. But
I was overly confident.
The movement felt very intuitive, and the lobby area felt like a really good, almost jungle gym to figure it all out too. So, huge props there. I did notice there's a bunch of weapons in the air, like you referenced, and the splat thing, grenades your go-to. Yeah, you're pretty good with it. I won't lie. I imagine I can just think of how myself goes. It's like, hey, we're going to have a meeting about this game, come up with ideas of what you want. And then I'm going to come up with a spreadsheet full of
we figured
items.
This out.
Yeah. How do you decide on what's actually going to get into the game? And like, what makes the cut? How does this whole process go or how, not even the whole process, how was it decided, these are the items that we're going to use?
Yeah, that's I think one of the harder things about this job is deciding between all of the ideas, because we actually have currently a huge slide deck with brainstorm ideas that anyone on the project can pop in. And a lot of the time it's like really huge, like blue sky, like the person didn't think about how it would work, just that they are excited about the idea.
That's
so
me.
a lot of the time it's scrolling through and being like, I don't think we actually can make this. So it's like we still keep the idea, but we just keep scrolling past it. But yeah, I think sometimes it's a gut reaction, just like, hey, this was kind of funny, let me get this in, or this one sounds like a lot of fun, let's work on this next. But right now we're kind of focusing on filling in some gaps on as far as what we could continue adding. So introducing like different types of gameplay and looking at it from a holistic view of like, what do we have already? What could we add? What would be a fun addition to everything? So yeah, it's a lot of like big ideas and then bringing it down into like what actually makes sense right now.
Can't disagree. There's a litany of.
Yeah, like
there's
I said,
a whole book of ideas kicking over there.
Give me 5 minutes, I'll come up with 100 of them, and 90 of them you'll have to be like, dude, there's no way that would work.
I love when people pitch an idea though, and it can't be done. It just means your idea is ahead of its time. That's all. It's not a bad idea. It's just, hey, you're asking for technology that doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm. I instantly think like, imagine like an RPG in this. That just
I thought of that, but then you'd have to have some sort of recoil on it.
I was
sacrifice for
gonna
that.
just say that same thing. You shoot
Launches
it, you go flying back.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh man.
So you might get the parachute loose, but that's why I like the team play.
Mm-hmm.
I'd push team play.
Yeah, 2v2 could be fun, or teams of two, not 2v2, because obviously there's much more than 4 people.
Things too.
Yeah.
Not that it's not, wouldn't be a nightmare to reprogram some of that, but you know how it is.
Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of silly stuff there that's easy to miss too. Like, I don't think I heard the donkey fart. I think it's a donkey. Whatever
it's a horse.
Horse.
It's a horse, yeah.
Dude, there was a pirate ship.
Because you're going so fast.
I actually stopped while chasing somebody with the parachute because I thought they went into the top of it. And I'm like, well, now I got to see what it looks like in there.
So how many little hidden things like, a horse farting on you as you pass by? Are there a bunch of little hidden gems in there as well too.
Oh yeah. Kelsey and I were just talking about this earlier. And there was one that she didn't even know about that was in there's a giant fire extinguisher that if you run into like the handle, the visual effect of like the foam comes out the other end. It's like you would only know that from slamming into that little part. So that's like one of those fun Easter eggs. But yeah, Kelsey, was there anything that you liked from that list?
Oh gosh. I mean, the one that I wanted to call out was the shark. My favorite is the shark because, well, it does squeak when you hit into it, which is adorable. And then, but it's also an homage to, we have a big shark. I don't know, it's not a sculpture, just a thing in our office here at work. So that's like where it came from. And so we were like, oh my gosh, like we might as well put the shark in the game. And so that I love to see the shark and hear it squeak because it's funny.
So what I'm hearing is you want to smash yourself into every object you see from every direction and every part, because it's possible they might do something. I went up to the giant fire extinguisher thinking I could grab it and shit. Never even thought of like slamming myself into it.
Yeah, I'm going to see you next time you play. I'm going to be like, dude, you're not even going after the guy with the parachute. I'm just going to see you ramming into every item.
You'll see me do that for a little, like one thing of cash. I'll just fly away from everyone. Like, hey, there's time. There's time. You can use strategy.
Well, again, it's not about who has it the longest. No. It's about getting it at the very end. So
I came close. Dude, I was so close.
Yeah, Addie kept stealing it at the very end.
Professional.
Taking the win. Yeah. I'm like, you got some developer debug tools or something there.
So I felt like a mouse just running and the little paw would go. Dude.
That was cute.
That's my toy.
That's my parachute. Yeah. But do you have any tips for new players or somebody who's
please.
going to go in for their first time, or maybe somebody that keeps losing their parachute?
Kelsey, do you want to take it?
I guess I'll start, but Addie's the real winner, so you'll want to listen to her. You really gotta like learn how to use the grappling hook. There's no once we introduced that in the game, it was like there's no going back. And so I like to try to get to like grappling towards like one of the electric obstacles, and then like hang around there, kind of like swing around it as much as possible, and so that when people are coming at you, they'll just get to the electric field. So that's usually like my go-to. And then I'll steal what you guys noticed Addie was doing in game, is that once you get the parachute is like we go straight up, like or just out, just somewhere and get away as fast as possible. Those are like my top tips. But yeah, go ahead, Addie.
Yeah, definitely breaking away from the crowd when you can. When you get the parachute, you get a little bit of a speed boost. So it does help you kind of break away from the crowd. But yeah, as soon as you get the opportunity to grapple onto something, take it. So you can just, again, get yourself away from everybody, keep that distance. And just having fun with like going into things, going around things. I like it. One of my personal favorites is just kind of doing laps around the shark, because it's funny to me and it's just a funny visual that people are just doing circles around the shark, making it squeak over and over. But yeah, I know people that use the grappling hook very masterfully, that they can just almost Spider-Man themselves across the match, and it's very impressive to watch those people. Like, wow, nobody can touch you, you're so far away. But yeah, and also using the items to your advantage too, and trying out different strategies there.
Oh yeah, double fire extinguisher is super lethal. Like you're golden.
Oh, for the boost?
I got to do that one next. I've only been single fire.
No, I double up because it doesn't matter. My strategy, we know how I'm going to play. So sometimes I'll use one and then I'll just hold the other one and wait until I get and then as soon as the little 2-second boost, whatever, I just lamp on it. Mm-hmm. I never did the parachute N2. I'd be gone, dude.
No, it's a good strategy. That might be how you kept saying, like, I feel like you're going a little bit faster than me.
I don't know, man. I'm right there, within reach. It slowly disappear.
And I love the characters in the game. Like, when we played last night the first time, and I was like, dude, you're Skeleton Man. I was like, oh my God, we're all Skeleton Men. And then I see the cat today. I'm like, okay, so there's kind of no limitation to what the avatar could be. While we were playing, I suggested, a gingerbread man. So, you could say, you can't catch me on the gingerbread man. I would love to be a shark just so I can make Jaws music at people as I'm coming on them. Yeah. But how did you settle on, the visual style, the characters in the game? How did that all come to be?
Yeah, I think those things started to be established before I joined the team, but we were just kind of trying to go for fun, relatable characters, I think. Characters that players want to play as, things that make you smile. Like you mentioned the shark, how you want to play as a shark. We have a shark because players in the Discord were saying, like, I want to be a shark. We love the shark. So now we added Grins the shark that you can spend your Skybucks on to unlock. But yeah, I think that's the main goal, is just having really fun characters. And just continuing to build on that.
It also opens the door for like IP collaborations, hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Like I'm just like, Matt, I think that's something that was so big for Fortnite and stuff like that. Imagine playing as like Darth Vader going. His bat is a lightsaber, come on. The possibilities are endless. I always go to Star Wars for IP and stuff too. But no, great game. Honestly, I see free to play. I don't always have the biggest expectations. It's a little bias.
I won't
myself.
lie, if it wasn't the studio behind it, I would have like hemmed and hawed a little.
Well, our listener base tends to be a little bit more of a mature, older crowd, and we went in and we played last night with we were saying it before, Nick Sutrich, Guanatu from Android Essential, and then one of our listeners as well, Chadwick, who's definitely no 18-year-old or 14-year-old kid, to say the least. And all of us were in tears laughing.
Oh, we were just all having a blast.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's definitely a good game loop there. And it's very easy sell to people to say, like, just download it on PC or VR, and you can hop in. So
the game loop itself is not very long.
No.
And what happened last night? Everyone just kept saying, well, let's just do one more.
Yeah. What's 5 more minutes?
How about one more?
It's a very like
May have happened today.
Yeah, actually, in fact, I was like, yeah, we'll do 2. And then I was like, well, we kind of got to do 3,
we already did
right?
2, we should do 3.
Keep in mind, if I had gotten to win that last one, I would have been like, all right, we're good here, But, I was tempted to keep going until I got the win. Awesome. I know we've kind of a little bit over. We've taken a bunch of your time today. I have a very bad habit of that, but appreciate you all making the time and joining us for our first ever Ruff-A-Thon event. It's so great to have support from studios like Schell Games, who's, you all have always taken good care of us during our showcase events and stuff like that. I actually got to show off Silent Slayer at one of them as well too. So that's why, hold the shirt close to my heart. But before we let these two go, did you have anything else you wanted to ask them while we have the opportunity?
Not grateful for the time. Exceeded my expectations. I love the direction of where it could go. Obviously nothing in stone, but I think you have something kind of special to play with, and definitely community driven. You're going to want to play with your friends. I don't even think randoms would be the end of the world in this situation.
No,
I think the fun factor's there.
We played with randoms last night, and I'm not usually a randoms guy.
No, usually if we can we boot them? No. All right, we'll play. And no, everyone had a good time.
It's a more the merrier type game for sure.
Yeah. And you know what? If the future involved team play, you could even look at it as like the team building type thing. And it's like, I don't know. I think you got something special.
And I love that the mics are pushed to talk as well too, which defaultly knocks out a lot of random chatter and screaming. Yeah. So like I think I think that was a great decision. So both of you, thank you so much, Kelsey and Addie, for both joining us today. I guess in fairness, I should say, is there anything you wanted to say to the listeners before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I guess if we would love to see you on the Discord channel and chatting with us and the rest of the community. And if you have any exciting ideas that you would love to see, no ideas too big or small. So we'd love to hear from you.
Awesome.
Yeah. Plus one to Addie. We're really excited about this game, and like we've had a lot of fun brainstorming characters and objects and different things to do. So I know other people will too. And so, yeah, keep the ideas coming. We're excited.
Awesome. Thank you all for continuing to make such great games over at Schell Games. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. To listeners, stay tuned for the rest of the Ruff-A-Thon. Be sure to check out both Project Freefall, and if you enjoy it, definitely go check out the Schell Games Discord. Sounds like it's the place to be. And we will check you all out with the rest of our Ruff-A-Thon event. Ciao, ciao.